Halloween Rambling Part 2. We are going to uh 1998, no, 1993 was the year Hocus Pocus was released, same year as Jurassic Park, which is why Hocus Pocus flopped in the movie theater or box office. It was definitely, in my opinion, ahead of its time. But it's been years now. 25 years? No, 27 years. Not entirely sure. In all honesty, it's a little awkward. But anyhow, we're gonna go do. Maybe we should go do. I'm kind of out of ideas on what to do. Screw it. We're gonna go play my warlock. Here in the next hour or so, I'll take another intermission, unfortunately. And then I'll be playing a lot more this evening with a couple of my clan members. At least one I know for sure. Okay. We're gonna go ahead and start us a party though, because I don't like not being in a party. Alright. Yes, I heard her, child. Here. Here. Alright, so we have... I will be right back. Oh, sorry. Parenting 101. Alright. Well, we are going to go ahead and... Oh, God, okay. Repair the Awoken Talisman beyond the Watchtower. Let's go ahead and... What the hell do I have to do? What do I have to do here? Repair the Broken Talisman. Let's find out what this is. Okay. Clear lost sectors in the Tangled Shoulder. In an old Corsair hideout, spiderweb, and rare green place. Oh yeah, you know what? We're gonna go ahead and go back to go to Tower Period, and we're gonna go to Tess Everest. Yeah, we're gonna go ahead and do that, because that's gnarly. No idea what the fuck that is. Crazy. Anyhow, like I was saying, Hocus Pocus is way ahead of its time. I kind of feel so many horror movies were ahead of their time. The Nightmare on Elm Streets were perfect for the 80s. So Friday the 13th, perfect for the 80s, but they were pushing the envelope at that time. They were trying to make things scarier. They were pushing for uh, a side of horror, I guess you would call it, suspense that no one had ever touched on before. So to me, like I'm a movie nerd, I'm a horror buff. That was for 1980s. That was beautiful. Ridley Scott had the idea of the shock and awe effect in 1979 when he released Alien. It was perfect. George A. Romero back in 53, I want to say is when it was, when he released Night of the Living Dead, all black and white. And then his follow up with Dawn of the Dead was spectacular. He cleared out hundreds of thousands of people across the nation, got up and walked out because they couldn't handle the transfer between black and white picture using Hershey syrup as blood, like in Psycho, to actual color where the blood was just, it was so ridiculous looking, but people actually got physically ill because they couldn't handle that. Like, you know how people get, they pass out because they saw blood or whatever. They push the envelope, and that's the beautiful thing. Like, you know, I grew up in a very, 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 very sheltered household. I unfortunately, my family was very religious, and so therefore a lot of things it's just kind of how it all went down. It was, religious household. You could say this, you could say that. Shader back. Sure, why not? But the idealistics behind it weren't there. You know what I mean? Like,
come see me again.
I don't know. Like you watch the churches just abolish people and abolish families and everything, and it really to that point where it's like, you know what, fuck this, I don't want to be a part of that no more. So that's the kind of household I grew up in. Ooh, unlock. Well, bad omens. All right. You know, the fucking crazy part though is growing up in such said household, being able to have grown to the person I am today, to see the amazing accomplishments in horror movies and in shit Disney movies, for crying out loud. I always been a Disney fan, always probably will be a Disney fan. But when it comes down to the dirty nitty gritty, you've watched all these movies from kids, okay? You've seen them, you know it's there. Mask must be equipped to access. Okay, that's fine. But like, so, okay, you see all the difference between WALL-E, okay, one of my favorites, okay, the difference between WALL-E and, say, Beauty and the Beast, or Sleeping Beauty, for crying out loud. Okay, the difference is right there. And then you look at like Wreck-It Ralph, great fucking movie. Okay, now you go from the Disney aspect where everything changed. Now look at Friday the 13th. They've remade it twice now, I think. I do believe, and Nightmare on Elm Street, the remake of Nightmare on Elm Street. So many haters on the Nightmare on Elm Street remake. So many haters. I don't believe it was a Wes Craven creation. So right there, yeah, Jeff Cutter. Okay, so not a Wes Craven. Wasn't Robert Englund as Freddy. It was the dude who plays Rorschach off of The Watchmen. Okay, so many complaints right off the bat. But if you actually paid attention to the specifics of the movie, say, and it explains so many different things that people were like, no, fuck that, it's not the same, blah fucking blah. Now, Rob Zombie's creation of Halloween or his recreation of Halloween, his envision of Halloween was epic, in my opinion. It breaks down the psychological side of Michael Myers, and that right there was the scariest thing you could see in today's society. Is the fact that, you know, I'm sure we all grew up knowing that one kid that just loved torturing fucking animals, loved doing creepy shit like that, you know, killing small things. Now, we might not have ever seen him, empty tank, so that's not the right one. We might never have seen that kid, you know, kill cats and dogs and take pictures of them, but we watched him beat the shit out of rabbits, or, you know, just enjoy killing small little helpless creatures. Okay, we all had that experience growing up, so the fact that they redid it, and or that Rob Zombie redid it and made it fucking work, man. Like, he legit put fucking some pretty badass thought processes into it, and showed you everything that you didn't understand or see before. Okay, now you go from that, and you look at the old the 70s, or late 70s, early 80s of Michael Myers. Okay, you look at that, and they were just going for the shock and awe. This is not it. Come on. Okay, that, dude, real shit. Like, they were going for the shock and fucking awe. Okay, we're just gonna go here. So, you know, you see all these differences. You pay attention. See, like I said, I'm a movie nerd. I'm a huge nerd. Halloween, I'm debating on going as just regular Rick. You know, just Rick Sanchez. I'm gonna be dyeing my hair. About my wife ordered me a lab coat. I've already got the portal gun. You know, easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Okay. But at the same time, I'm also, you know, there's so many different dimensions in Rick and Morty. You know, I'm like, you know what, screw it. Let's go to a badass. Let's throw a badass fucking twist on it. You know, let's be the god damn it, the dimension where ICP took over the world or some shit. You know, go Juggalo Rick. I turn myself into a Juggalo Morty. I'm Juggalo Rick. You know, there's about 150 different ideas of shit I could fucking do. And you know, the best things come in threes. Comedy comes in threes, as Rick says. So, in retrospect here, okay, in my brain, how things are, you know, I don't know how many people Hall of the Exalted, Lost Sector, Hall of the Exalted. I don't fucking think this is a right fucking place either. I'm gonna have to fucking... I haven't done this mission in so fucking long, I don't know the lost sectors I need to do. Predator, the new release Predator that came out last month. So many haters. So many haters, dude. So many haters. Because... And the critics were like, oh, the reason why it was the worst Predator movie ever. Not the worst Predator movie. Not. Like, in my opinion, there is not a bad Alien, not a bad Predator movie. I'm very religiously involved with these movies. Alien 1979, Ridley Scott, his original design, he couldn't produce back then. He didn't have the technology. he didn't have the capability of producing it. So years and years later, the xenomorph has become so dead set in our brain in the same scenario, and now you're looking at Prometheus when the back burster or the chest burster, whatever you want to call it, comes out of the um comes out of fuck, I can't remember what the engineer, that's what they were calling, that's right. When it comes out of the engineer, and instead of having the jaw that shoots out of its mouth, that extra mouth, its bottom jaw and top, or its bottom jaw just shoots out a little bit. You know, that right there was the original intention of Ridley Scott's xenomorph. We that grew up with it never realized how Ridley Scott envisioned it. Never. And his intention was not to necessarily make a prequel to Alien, but it wound up being said sequel. And that's totally, you know, that's totally bitchin', that's totally fine. It's totally whatever. Okay? But for all intents and purposes, the Alien franchise never flopped. Never. So many people disagree with me. I've had so many heated debates over this. It makes me absolutely fucking laugh. In Alien versus Predator, it explains the purpose of the xenomorph. They were genetically made, and in Alien Covenant, it shows David, the first android. This is supposedly years before the Nostromo. Okay, so years before the Nostromo, it shows David take a crew to go find the engineers, and him and Dr. Shaw, the only two survivors. Badass. Okay, you can't fucking go wrong there. And then it explains how he turned everything to better himself and create, because that was the one thing as a droid you couldn't do. You couldn't create. You're not even allowed to create a simple tune, and it was frustrating. Those were his words out of the movie. Okay, so he doesn't. He says basically, fuck that. I'm gonna create, and that's the end of story. And so he does. He creates. So years and years before the Nostromo, supposedly. Okay, if you follow the timeline, it's not. I don't know if it's technically like supposedly years before, but the way the timeline goes, Alien Covenant is before. So it's they were genetically created. Well, some point in time now, they're gonna have to create a movie, another Alien versus Predator, showing the Predator come to Origai 6, where Alien Covenant left off, headed there. They're gonna show up, and this Origai 6 planet that just randomly appeared, or that they studied forever, after they landed on the planet and caught the engineer's virus that David purposely released on that planet. It's gonna go to it's gonna go to Origai 6, and in this particular place, I see being a perfect. They're gonna get there, and it's gonna already have structures. It's gonna have pyramids. It's gonna have everything. There's gonna be a culture that died out hundreds of years ago, thousands of years ago, and just like in AVP, that's gonna show that these things were worshipped as gods. They came down, showed them how to build, but you know. There's tons of fucking possibilities. So therefore, they're gonna, and the best part is it's not gonna be the sacrificial rituals yet. It's gonna be they came down to show these people how to build, and for their hunt, these indigenous people to this planet Origai 6, they would train their warriors, their strongest men, their bravest soldiers, to go and hunt the predator when they would come every 100 years, or every 10 years, or whatever the fuck it is. So they get there, they find all this shit out, and they're like, "Oh, that's really interesting." Nobody believes the captain that that's David, not shit, I can't remember not the other droid's name, but not their actual droid, because he's got years. He's got like 6 more years now to fucking make everybody think that he's the one that started on the Covenant. And David's gonna release his face huggers, and there's going to be xenomorphs, and it's gonna be in the same time frame that the Predator is down there. They keep coming back, even though the indigenous people have been dead. They keep coming back, or they get a heat spike that sets it off, and then they show up. And they're like, huh, let's go check it out. They go, they find the xenomorph, and then from that fucking point right there, they take David, and one of the eggs, or embryos that David placed, was a queen. He had no idea that his genetic creation was capable of adapting and cocooning itself and becoming a queen. So therefore, they're able to breed without him, and that, boom, ties it into AVP right there. Now, that the end of this, David could be like, I can show you where to go get, just let me help you, and he takes them to the horseshoe ship, and the Predator allows David to try to fly the ship, and instead of him flying the ship where they want him to go, like they're headed to Earth or some shit like that, it crash lands on LV-426, and the first queen is that born of a droid. It just sticks inside its chest and stays, and that's going to be the engineer that Dallas and the crew find in the middle of the ship, and that will explain why there's so many eggs underneath. And the queen was taken by the Predators, captured, and put to use someplace else. So therefore, everything ties in right fucking there. One movie. And everyone thinks I'm crazy and that it's never going to happen, and they're probably right. If I'm not the director and I'm not writing this, and I don't have, people backing it, yeah, probably not. But I can guarantee you, it will be one of the greatest movies of that genre and of those two movie franchises. It will be the best one ever. It'll be AVP, Alien vs. Predator, the beginning, or something random, something deep that lets you know that you're gonna learn shit that you never thought you were gonna learn, and then boom, it just ties in every fucking movie that's been created since 1979 all the way up to 2018. So there's so many fucking possibilities here. I know I'm supposed to be playing Destiny. I'm streaming here, and I went off on a rant. Yeah, I'm gonna, oh look, there's a chest right here. Boom, look at that. I got some more stuff. That's pretty cool. So I'm gonna go ahead and just take us to orbit, because I want to have a cigarette right now, and I do believe I need to check on my food. Not yet, almost. So there's hundreds of fucking possibilities here. There's thousands of options. The hundreds of possibilities that you can change, and the possibilities are endless. Like each option has an unaccounted for amount of possibilities, and each possibility has 100,000 outcomes. So it's a combination of this possibility and this outcome. But when you fucking get that many people, maybe you would be able to have a new beginning. Yes, you're taking something from the past and remaking it, recreating it. But at the same time, sorry about that, folks. Not that anybody's watching or will watch, but you know, hey. So there's hundreds of possibilities. Like I said, I could go on for I can go on. Hang on. But anyway, there's hundreds of possibilities that you could do with this. There's fucking there's so much. Like, if I had the ability, I would write the movie myself and I would sell it for thousands of dollars. Like, I would, because I've been doing this shit. I've been fan fictioning this shit for fucking 2 decades now. Anyway, yeah, so like I've been doing this for fucking ever. I've drunk rambling. I've had fan fictions for years, decades now. 31 years old. I've been doing this since I can fucking remember, and yeah. So I'm excited for the possibilities of the future, but I'm also a little nervous because I have a feeling that these people that are creating these new Predator movies are trying to ruin the franchise, not make it better. The new Predator was a beautiful masterpiece. It's a beautiful thing. It explained clans, why the Predators from the movie Predators were fighting the original Predator. It explains so much, and it shows. Got a 7-year-old who's all excited for Halloween, and my mom lives in another state, so she's talking to her via Facebook Messenger, face call type shit, and yeah, you know, It's a wonderful, wonderful thing. Wonderful thing. But so the new Predator was fucking beautiful. I loved it. It was absolutely great. They put comedy in there and they showed you the Predator had been down on Earth so many times. It knew hand gestures. It knew how to communicate. It knew, how to not get spotted. Even after it just killed a truck full of guys and the driver was like, "Hey, you guys okay?" Sticks a dude's hand through the window with a thumbs up. Like, just fucking little things like that just showed you the intensity that this director put into it. Like, you know what? We don't want a Predator that's new at this. We want one that's been here before. And then it's a long story. I don't want to. There's no spoilers here. I mean, minus the hand with the thumbs up. That was spoiler. I apologize, but no spoilers. If you guys ever watch my video and you get this far into it, and you're like, hey, maybe I'm gonna watch this, leave a comment. Shit, subscribe to my channel. Fucking, you're gonna get tons more of this. I'm gonna be streaming directly to YouTube every day that I get on my PlayStation and play a game, and I'm gonna have a different topic every day. Today is horror. Well, probably the rest of this month is gonna be horror and Halloween, all the way to Halloween Day. And if I can get the money set aside and saved up by Halloween, I'm gonna have my PlayStation camera hooked up to where I can at least broadcast everything appropriately and have my face in there whilst the game's playing, etc., and be able to show off the Halloween costumes and everything. So there's tons of shit about to happen. It's going to be a beautiful year next year. 2019 is going to be fantastically off the chain, but we will get there at another day. And today we're still focusing on horror movies and Halloween shit, like the ghostly ghouls and everything like that. So without any further ado, I'm gonna take my leave of this stream for right now. I've been on for 32 minutes and haven't played hardly any. I've got dinner to finish. I will be back on streaming with my clanmate, talking about Halloween, talking about horror movies, etc., whilst playing the game. So it's gonna be, chitter chatter here, rambling here, stuff about the game, the exotics that he's found or the exotics that I find, little things here and there that we will be able to help you guys see in the game, find if anything necessary, and then on top of that, you're gonna have somebody else's opinion completely on the whole Halloween and what they're doing with their children, etc. So I'm gonna do my damnedest to try to get 3 or 4 of you to follow and watch my videos every time you see the stream pop up on Twitter, on Facebook. Like, share, subscribe, tell me what you guys want to talk about, give me some feedback, and just, we're here. It's a freak show. We're all part of the freak show. This little game called life. This little show called life, where everybody is just a part of a show. There's sarcasm. There's random talk. There's serious conversation. And as soon as I get feedback from my viewers, which are few and far between right now, but as soon as I start getting actual feedback, I will be able to not only answer questions with my clan, with my few friends that I play with on certain games, and it won't just be streaming Destiny. I've been doing Destiny for 6 years now, and I will continue playing Destiny every chance I get. But here soon there's going to be Red Dead Redemption 2. It comes out in a few days, but yeah, so anyway, I will be back, and yeah, we'll talk some more. Thanks, bye.